Hello and welcome to the Sci-Fi Christian. I'm Ben Bono. Today, I'm reviewing for you a show I wish I had never watched. Thankfully, did not have to watch that much of it. Warehouse 13, a truly awful example of science fiction storytelling. Alright, why did I watch this show? Because if you know anything about me, this is not a show that I would enjoy. And certainly not one that I did. So here's the deal. This is kind of one of those contest reviews, like what I did with Deep Space Nine last year. Where if you don't remember that, I had a little contest going on in the podcast, and listener Robin over in the UK won it. And part of the prize was you can pick a TV show or movie or something for me to review, and pick a TV show. You can choose like 4 or 5 episodes or whatever. So he did that with Deep Space Nine. You can go check out that review. So this year, it was kind of a contest, but really more I did something stupid. So on the podcast, on episode 250, both Matt and I chose 25 things that we wanted to, watch or something. Sci-fi things we'd never watched before that we wanted to watch before episode 350. And then I lost my notes for that, and I didn't want to go back and listen to the episode. So I said, okay, somebody go back and listen for me. And first person to send me the list of what I had, I'll give you the same deal. I'll review something you want. So listener Michael won, or completed the task first, and he chose Warehouse 13, not only because he's a fan, though apparently he is, but also because he knew I would hate it. So congratulations, Michael. You were correct. I did not like this show, not one bit. So here's the thing with Warehouse 13, because I want to make this clear. So, well, let me back up. So the episodes he had me watch is I watched the first 3 episodes of Season 1, pilot next 2, and then I watched the second episode of Season 2, which involved superheroes and Sean Maher and Jewel Stage from Firefly, and so that was all well and good. So those are the 4 I watched. But here's the thing you got to understand about Warehouse 13, is that I said it's a bad show, and it is, but it isn't a bad show in the way that Heroes is a bad show. Like, and if you've listened to the podcast, I just intensely hate Heroes. I think it's honestly one of the worst things ever produced. And so, like with Heroes, I can understand why people would sit down and watch that. And in some ways, the fact that it's trying to be so ambitious, trying to tell this big Lost style story filled with mysteries and characters, it's so ambitious and it so completely fails on every single level that it inspires and then it was so popular with so many people for whatever reason. So that combination of its popularity and its ambition and its subsequent absolute, without exception, failure, just, like, my mind can't comprehend how bad that show is. Okay? But Warehouse 13 is different because it has no ambition whatsoever. Okay? This show is about nothing. It's about absolutely nothing. Like, Heroes was about something, and it was so incompetent at being about that it was terrible. Warehouse 13 is just bland across the board. Give you a comparison. Heroes is the equivalent of somebody attempting to make fine cuisine and failing so badly that the taste is horrible and all the guests have to go to the hospital immediately to get their stomachs pumped. Okay? It's swinging for the fences and missing as completely as you can miss it. Okay? Warehouse 13 is somebody attempting to make the most bland, tasteless dish imaginable, and you can choke it down, but It does absolutely nothing for you. You don't ever want to experience it again, and you can't for the life of you imagine why people would voluntarily choose to eat it. Okay, that's Warehouse 13. You might as well call this MacGuffin the series. I mean, all this series is repeated efforts, and I feel fine ripping it, despite the fact that Michael's a fan, by the way, because he specifically chose it so that I would hate it. So I just feel like I'm fulfilling his wish here, even though I did genuinely hate it. So for people who are feeling like, oh, he's ripping on this guy's favorite show, or one of his favorite shows, well, don't feel bad. He wanted me to hate it, I'm hating it. So, this show just exists to trot out tired sci-fi cliches and take advantage of viewers who are fans of them. It is the sci-fi equivalent of CSI and all of its innumerable clones. Every episode is essentially the same. The leads could not be more boring. There's this, and I don't even remember their names. Well, the girl's name is Michael. Hey! Sure, different Michael, or Micah, or something like that. And the guy's name is Guy. I don't know what his name is. And then there's the old fat guy at the warehouse who's kind of their Skinner or whatever. To their Mulder and Scully. Except way less interesting. The show tries to be funny and it doesn't work. The leads are just, like I said, they're so obnoxious. The interaction between them is absolutely cloying. The acting is dreadful, and you kind of get the sense that they all know it. And it's like, here comes the paycheck. The show's an embarrassment for Sci-Fi Channel after they'd finished putting on Battlestar. One of the, whatever you think of how successful its storytelling ultimately was or was not, one of the most ambitious and well done shows from a production standpoint ever made. And then we get this show that just has crap special effects across the board, crap acting across the board, writing that's not even trying. Even like when it go back to the acting in that episode I mentioned, the Jill Station and Sean Mayer from Firefly, they're terrible in it, and those are good actors. So it's just everybody is phoning it in, and they realize it. And that's what I hate about this series, is that basically, instead of trying to actually do something interesting with the concept, which maybe you could, what they did is they just all sat around and decided to completely phone it in across the board. The directors, the producers, the writers, the actors, the special effects team, it's all phoning it in because they know that all we have to do is throw out a spaceship or some time travel thing or a ghost or, superheroes, and the geeks will show up and watch it. Imagine an ultra lazy, ultra cynical version of Doctor Who, and that's what this is. And not to say that the storytelling is cynical in the sense that the stories are not necessarily cynical, but in the sense that everything that's going on behind the scenes is cynical. This thing is just an abomination of sci-fi storytelling. I found the episodes just painful to sit through. In fact, the pilot was an hour and a half, and I couldn't do it in one sitting. So I had to break that guy up into two, and then I had to take a break. I'd watch like one episode a day at the most. And when I'd watch 2 days in a row, I had to take a whole day break before I could stomach the next two. But it's done. So I just don't get it, guys. I don't get it. I don't get what would make you, and I'm speaking to those of you who like this show, what would make you want to tune in? Are our standards that low that all somebody has to do is, wave a ray gun in front of our face as sci-fi fans and we're there ready for action? Is that it? Because that's troublesome, because it's like, I like sci-fi, yeah, because it shows me cool stuff, but more because it triggers my imagination to think of things I haven't thought of before, because it explores cool ideas, and it can be a metaphorical way of exploring life and the human condition and literature and all this stuff. And none of that is here. It's just, ooh, here's your fancy toy. Ooh, here's your sci-fi trope. Ooh, ray guns, hooray! Ooh, we got a warehouse full of crap that we can explore. And there's purple goo, and it's just on and on it goes. It's the most exploitive, lazy excuse for storytelling I've ever encountered. So is the show horrible? Yeah, but like I said, very different type of horrible than something like Heroes. It's just so bland. I don't get it. So, you know, and I know what people are going to say. I know people are going to be like, well, you know, it's just a fun show to turn my brain off and watch. Why is it fun? Why is that fun? Why is it fun to watch something that's this poorly made? Why is it fun? Okay, I mean, let's leave the whole question of turning your brain off to the side, because clearly I disagree about that, but that's a philosophical question. I'm talking about the merits of a show that's this poorly made. Even if you say, I want to turn my brain off and have mindless fun, there's like a million different ways you could do that. Why this show? What about this show is commendable, even if your standards are as low as I just don't want to think? I mean, like, does not wanting to think mean that all of a sudden you're excited about incompetence? Because that's certainly how it seems to me. I mean, this is just the most absurd thing I've ever seen. So, the gauntlet's thrown down. I don't understand it. If somebody wants to explain it to me, I will happily listen. But yeah, I'm done with Warehouse 13. God. Never going back. Horrible show. Horrible, horrible, horrible. 0 stars. 0 out of 5. I honestly can think of nothing in this show that I would recommend. Every minute was painful. 0 stars for Heroes as well, but like I said, different way. 0 stars. There is nothing to recommend about this show. It is complete garbage in storytelling. And I'm sorry if that hurts the feelings of anyone who likes it. I'm not trying to do that, but like I said, Michael wanted me to hate it. Well, Michael, your wish is my command. I hated this show. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. All right, guys, that's it. Bendy Bono. Goodbye. Gotta go wipe my mind of the memory of Warehouse 13. See you later.